A major diplomatic breakthrough in the Middle East. For the first time in nearly 25 years, a sitting US president has met with a Syrian leader. On Wednesday, President Donald Trump sat down with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa in the Saudi capital Riyadh. The high-stakes meeting was also attended by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan joining in by phone. The talks come on the heels of Trump's announcement to lift all US sanctions on Syria, a move that drew swift praise from Damascus.
In Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria. They've had their share of travesty, war, killing, many years. That's why my administration has already taken the first steps toward restoring normal relations between the United States and Syria for the first time in more than a decade. I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria.
In a televised address later that evening, President al-Sharaa called the sanctions decision historic and courageous, saying it would ease suffering, fuel economic recovery, and help rebuild modern Syria. He also thanked Saudi Arabia and Turkey for helping make the meeting happen, calling it the start of a new chapter.
We have seen several of our brothers and brotherly states and we realize also that the whole world loves Syria and also concerned with the situation of Syria because of its important place in their hearts. I have visited Saudi Arabia a few months ago, where I met with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and he told me that he would exert all efforts in order to lift sanction, and I've seen in his eyes and the eyes of his people the love for Syria and also their trust in its bright future. After that, I visited the Turkish President Erdogan, who also stood by the Syrian people and during more than 14 years and also received millions of Syrian refugees with all the suffering and burden that they carried with them. I've seen also and witnessed solidarity, and they wanted to help us so that we can fall again on our feet. And also I visited His Highness Tayyip, who also was with us since the beginning, and he was always standing by the side of Syria. I also visited the leader of the United Arab Emirates, and he showed that he was ready, that he will exert all efforts in order also to support Syria. And King Mohammed bin Isa, the King of Bahrain, also congratulated that, as well as our brothers in Kuwait and Oman, without forgetting the King of Jordan, who welcomed also the new Syria, as well as President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And I've seen that he wanted to make sure that Syria will be stable again, as well as Libya, Algeria, Morocco, and Sudan, and also in Sudan, where the leader also said that he would like to see new relations between the two countries and fruitful cooperation. After that, we met with the President Macron, who said that he's ready to lift these sanctions along with important European Union countries, including Germany. Italy also said that it was ready to lift sanctions. My dear fellow citizens, your love for your countries and all your sacrifices for this land and your suffering in the refugees camps, as well as the blood of the martyrs and the joy that you showed for the new Syria, has a great impact on international community towards Syria, the new Syria.
From Riyadh, Trump headed to Qatar, becoming the first US president to make an official state visit to the country. He was received with full ceremony by Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, and the visit quickly turned into a major economic win. The US and Qatar signed deals worth $1.2 trillion, including a $96 billion agreement for Qatar Airways to buy 210 Boeing aircraft. The countries also announced $38 billion in joint investments at Al Udeid Air Base and for expanded air defense systems. Trump's Gulf tour, which began in Saudi Arabia, will conclude in the United Arab Emirates on Thursday before he returns to Washington. Meanwhile, another diplomatic door may be opening, this time with Iran.
I want to make a deal with Iran. I want to do something if it's possible. But for that to happen, it must stop sponsoring terror, halt its bloody proxy wars, and permanently and verifiably cease its pursuit of nuclear weapons. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
In an interview with NBC News, Ali Shamkhani, a senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader, said Tehran is open to a deal with the US. In exchange for the immediate lifting of sanctions, Iran would abandon all plans for nuclear weapons, limit enrichment to civilian levels, and allow international inspections. Shamkhani said if the US follows through, it could lead to a better situation in the near future. The stage is now set for a possible US-Turkish Syria meeting later today, where officials are expected to discuss Trump's decision to drop Syria sanctions, a move that could significantly reshape regional alliances. From Riyadh to Doha, and now Abu Dhabi, Trump's Gulf tour is being described by analysts as a dramatic recalibration of US foreign policy, shifting focus from pressure and isolation to direct diplomacy and economic engagement. Stay with us for more on this developing story.